melody, you may recognize that hymn. We may know it more as "O Sacred Head Now Wounded." It actually is another one of my favorites. You know, Christmas and Advent, we have this wide list of hymns, carols, right? Now here we are in this season of Lent, and we can think of a few songs that maybe relate particularly to the happenings of Holy Week, and certainly songs that we will hear again at Easter. But there isn't the big long list of getting ready music in this season as there is in Advent. But we've made it here to another Lent. I don't know about you, but Lent 2020, in some ways, for me, feels like it's lasted this whole year. Because here we are, come back around to the season that started our COVID exile from being in worship together. And, you know, Lent is this time where we really do think of taking the time to be kind of in a wilderness feeling as we prepare our hearts and our minds, and we refocus, we reconnect to our relationship with God. We turn around, we take another look at it, right? So this beautiful hymn, "O Sacred Head Now Wounded," also known as the Passion Chorale, was actually written by a man whose name was Hans Leo Hassler. Those of you classical music friends out there will recognize his name. We're talking about a musician from the 1600s, though, in Germany. He was a musician in Nuremberg, Germany, and also in Dresden, Germany. And he wrote this beautiful melody. Interestingly, too, he was an organ designer in the 1600s and was often called upon to design new instruments and design specifically new organs for different churches. Then Johann Sebastian Bach got a hold of this melody, and he added the harmonies to it, and that's some of what makes this particular hymn rather interesting to me. It is used multiple times in one of Bach's most famous musical offerings, the St. Matthew Passion. So a work written for vocal soloists, written for double orchestra, written for double choir. And the work is an oratorio, meaning it's a musical piece that brings a religious story to life through music. So it actually is the text is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 26 and 27. The St. Matthew's Passion is known as one of the best and greatest works ever written. This particular melody and setting of this hymn is used, I think, over 5 times within that work that Bach created. Oftentimes, "O Sacred Head Now Wounded," as we know it, is a hymn that's sung along with "Were You There" on Good Friday. But in 1980, someone else took this beautiful hymn and added new words to it. A man named Nichols added an updated text. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned, can replace "O Sacred Head Now Wounded" and those words. But these are the words that he put to this particular melody, and I think it's Lent. I think here in these words we find Lent. Oh God, how we have wandered and hidden from your face. Foolishness have squandered your legacy. Chance to reflect, to say, I'm so very human, God. Forgive me. And yet, I know you call me by name. And there's so much goodness in knowing that is true. So this hymn, oh God, how we have wandered. May you use this music moment as a part of your Lenten journey as we enter in, as we reflect, restore our relationship with God, remind ourselves of the beauty of the story of Jesus, and get ourselves prepared for a holy week that will come sooner rather than later. Thanks for joining in this music moment.